Hello, hello. Hi, everybody, as we filter in. Hi, friends. Sean, what's up? Nice. Sean, Juan, hello.
Hello, hello there. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Is the
Yes,
audio working? Good.
yes, very good. How are you today?
Uh, I am hanging in there.
Good. Do you want to play today, Juan?
Let's see how I'm in
Okay.
recovery from a surgery.
Oh,
I can play and try, see a little bit what happens.
no problem. We can see how it goes. How's that? I won't make you go first.
That sounds good.
Okay, good. Hi, Steven. How's it
How you
going?
doing?
Good. Good to see ya. This is my favorite part. I love when everybody starts to filter in here.
Somebody getting
So,
married?
is somebody getting married?
I don't know. It looks like Claire Duncan is, no, Elizabeth,
That's an old,
whoever it was.
that's an old picture.
Oh, well,
Beautiful.
that's nice. Nice reminder, right?
Yeah.
There's Lisa. Wonderful. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to this Etude of the Week Masterclass. These are so much fun. Um, have you all been here before for one of these? No, Claire's new, Juan's new. Fantastic. So, first of all, I just want to say a huge thank you to Flute World for putting these on. I think it's such an amazing thing to have us connected. Oh, hi! You're the best. Oh, that's awesome. It's just so wonderful to have us all connected as a community and to be doing these things. So, thank you to Flute World for sponsoring these. It's a pretty big deal. So, there you go. And we have a few people signed up to play today. So, those of you who don't know what's going on, this is a class based on the Etude of the Week etudes that we're working on right now. So, they'll be the Gariboldi etudes. I have signed up to play Brittany. There's Brittany. Hi, Brittany. Lisa. Lisa, I'm so excited to hear you. It's going to be awesome. Mary, who I don't see here yet, but that's okay. Juan, I have you signed up, and then Deborah, who I also don't see here yet. So we're just gonna kind of play it by ear. We'll start with. Can we start with you, Brittany? Is that okay? Awesome. And we'll just give it a second. But how many of you don't know what Etude of the Week is? Is anybody here not sure, or do all of you know?
General, as a general event thing. No, this is
Yeah.
the first time I just heard about it.
Awesome.
Discovered the Garibaldi because of you, and I found them to be really a lot of fun because they're very musical. They're not just like technique stuff, dry and So I'm
Totally agree.
really through them. Yeah,
Yeah. Awesome, Juan. That's fantastic.
only 1 through 10 for now.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that's
that's me
good.
too. I'm way behind, so. But that's fantastic. Good. Yeah, I agree with you. I think they're so singing and so much fun and so musical. So, welcome. I'm glad that you're new to the group. We will have to start. I had a request to start looking and voting on the next book a lot sooner than we have in the past. So, we might do that soon. Usually I wait until like the last week, but we might do it sooner. But for now, we'll do some Garibaldi. So Brittany is going to be playing number. What'd you say, Brittany?
12.
Perfect. Okay, awesome. So let me pull those up here, and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So we'll have Brittany play. She'll start with playing number 12. And then we'll all kind of comment on it. So I want to then open up the floor to all of us to talking about whatever topics happen to come up. If anybody has anything to say, or if anyone would like to play that didn't sign up, just let me know. Okay? Or say it in the chat or whatever. Any of those things. But let's go for it. So, Brittany, tell us who you are, where you are. You're playing number 12, and then we'll go for it.
Well, hello. I'm from Costa Rica, and I'll be playing number 12. With this, I really struggled trying to not make the more repetitive notes irregular, because sometimes ones will be too fast and the others too slow, and then everything will be sound just not as an accompaniment, as
Yep.
with
That's
the melody, but
cool.
just really unpleasant. So I
Yeah.
try to solve especially that with
Yes.
this.
Evenness we're working on here. I love that, Brittany. Thank you for sharing that. That's fantastic. So I'm going to go ahead and share this screen here so we can all see in case you don't have the Garibaldi. Can everybody see this okay? Oh my gosh. I just got back from my like waitressing job and I've been talking for 8 hours. So sorry if my words are mixed up, but we're okay. All right. Go for it, my dear. Whenever you're ready. Okay, Brittany, nice. That's awesome. Great work. Very, very good. So tell me what do you like most about this etude?
Hmm. I think it's one of my favorites because it just has it's so fun. The melody is like wee, and
Yeah.
I just enjoy it. Hmm.
Good. I like that. It's good to enjoy what we play, right? Some etudes we enjoy more than others, I will say. But yeah, this one's so lovely. So something about all of these Garibaldi etudes, the chantates, they're focused on singing in some way, right? And they're so Italian sounding. So very like Italian opera singer things. But this one I think is special because it's got so much virtuosity in it too because you're playing all of these da 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 da, you know. It's more like a, Carnival of Venice, something like that. So, can you try this for me? Whenever we have something that has a melody line and another line along with it, I think the best way to practice it is just to play the melody line alone. Only that to start with. And play it as singing and beautiful and expressive as you can play it. Okay? Can you try that?
Oi, oi. Mhm.
Sorry, I was muted. Yeah, that part's a little weird. When you get there, you can just go. Just play like the first note of every four. That's fine. But that's beautiful. Yeah. So, what do you notice about it when you play the melody by itself? I'll tell you one thing. It makes it very easy to know where you're supposed to breathe, right? So play through that melody line one more time. And just that first phrase is perfect. It's so beautiful. And remember where it feels natural for you to take a breath. Okay? Good. Try it one more time. I was trying to like draw in your breaths as you were doing that, and then I couldn't figure out how to do it right, so never mind. But yeah, it's perfect. So then it makes sense in the phrasing, right? And I like how you mentioned at the beginning, you're trying so hard to play everything evenly. And while that's important, it's also more important to kind of make the melody line stand out a little bit more. So when you're playing this line and everything's connected and it's long, instead of doing this, you know, all those melody notes are kind of short and clipped, and it doesn't really sound much like a melody. This is a total James Galway thing, actually, that he does with things like this, especially if you go and listen to his Carnival of Venice recordings. It's amazing. But hold that melody line a little bit more, and then the things underneath it really aren't very important. So if we do this melody line again, it's so lovely, you know? So now let's try this. That one's hard. Right? So can you think about this? Try it one more time and go as slow as you need to go, but hold each melody note out just a little tiny bit longer so that we can tell that the melody is more important than the underneath stuff, you know? Okay, I'm going to pause you right there because already I was engaged right away with what you just played. I was like, oh, she's singing to me. Like, it was so much better. It's a huge difference even from that first note, Brittany. Beautiful. Okay, I'm sorry to stop you, but I just wanted to say it was so nice. Do it again. Yes! Amazing. It's such a difference. How did that feel for you?
It's a little bit harder,
Yeah, it is.
but it sounds better.
What makes it harder? Because you're right, it is.
Because I have to blow more.
Yeah, generally that's a thing.
And
Yeah,
I
you
have
have to use more air.
Make like a bigger change from going
Meeting. You are
to
in
the
Katy, Wherry with
lower
Sorry, one
notes
second.
to the higher
Yeah.
when
Yes.
I'm in a little
Especially
bit
this.
more.
It's not fun. You have to move all your fingers. Right? But another thing about that melody line that's so beautiful is you add these kind of natural dynamic changes. Right? So when you have this, let me bring the music up so I don't play completely wrong. It's natural to lead up to the C and then back down when you have the B to the A, you know, that resolution. It's really nice. Great. Does anybody have anything that they noticed? Anything that they noticed that sounded really good? Anything that you noticed that seemed really difficult? Anybody? No pressure, but you're all invited. Sean's nodding. Sean's got
Yeah,
something.
there was one. I think it had an F sharp. I have to look at it. There was one.
Oh, was there an F sharp?
The D F sharp. That one was. I struggled a bit with that one. I'm like, I think I ended up just doing real fingerings as fast as I could because I couldn't find an alternate that didn't tweak the tone color too much.
Yeah, that's this. Like those arpeggios there.
Bar 16.
16. Okay. Oh yeah, this part here.
Yeah. That part
Yeah,
was-
yeah. So this is always tricky, and I'm so glad you brought this up, Sean. Brittany, did you use all of the normal fingerings, or did you have any like other fingerings that you were using?
No, I actually just cheated a little bit and
Cheating's
removed
always
the
allowed.
pinky,
So
and then it was just much more easier. But I did it well first because it is easier, and then because my flute actually is leaking a little bit in the F sharp, so
Yeah.
it was
yeah, which makes a difference.
solution.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did use alternate fingering.
Yeah. But you're right, Sean. Like it does change if you were to just do. It works, kinda, but it definitely changes the tone
Yeah,
color.
it's not quite fast enough to get away with it.
Yeah, exactly. If you play it faster, the
But
faster you
fast
play
enough
it,
that I really didn't want to use real fingerings, but
Yeah. yeah.
But
right now.
but I did it still like moving this too. So
You were moving your first finger too. Okay.
yeah,
That works better actually if you just do these two instead of because that's a lot. It's a lot of fingers to move, you know? But there's nothing wrong with practicing using the correct fingerings, you know, and trying. But I am not a stickler with using the proper fingerings all the time. But I do think it's important to pay attention to how it changes the sound quality, right? So that's fair, Sean. Let me see if I can It's terrible. I would probably do something in between, like you did, Brittany, with just both first fingers there instead. Also kind of depends on the day. Yes, so with this etude, I really think that the most important thing is to make sure that you're bringing out the melody line. And that can be like by lengthening the melody line. It can be by adding a little bit of vibrato to the melody notes. It could be by making the non-melody notes a little bit softer. So any of those options will help to just really make it sound super beautiful, because anytime those melody notes are being clipped, it's a little bit like, it takes away from the beauty of the line of that. You know what I mean? But the change you made, Brittany, was amazing. It was really, really good. Do you want to keep going? I'd love to hear you play a little bit more. Let's do, why don't we go from this piano part? So like measure, pickups to measure 10.
okay.
Awesome. Now, Brittany, let's do this. It's beautiful. It's already better. But let's play the melody line by itself first and then do it again and see if it makes even a little bit of a difference. Good. Now I'm gonna mention one thing here. One of the really important parts of this melody are these appoggiatures, this like tension and release. Sorry if that's the wrong term. Please correct me, Sean, if I'm wrong. But this part, like this F sharp to E, so make sure you don't breathe in between those, right? Wait until after that E to breathe. It makes a huge difference. Same thing here. And you didn't breathe the first time you did, but this time you didn't. But I'm just going to prove a point. That's the part that pulls out your heart a little bit. You know what I mean? Yeah, good. Can you try it again? Just the melody. Brittany, so hold on. Just the melody line, not all the notes, just the melody by itself. Good. Yes, now add the notes. Beautiful. Yeah, good. Very nice. It's beautiful. So the more you can just make all of these little doodle doodles less important, the better, right? Oh, sorry. That's an A. We gotta find my air. I'm also sitting cross-legged. Let's try this again. Okay, here we go. Right. I know that you mentioned at the beginning that you were concerned about them being even. I wouldn't worry about that too much, actually. I think that they'll naturally be even as long as you're playing the melody in time. If the melody is in time, the other little things in between will be fine. If you focus too much on the it makes them really heavy, you know? And then it's like there's too much attention on them a little bit. Instead, if you do that one's hard, the B to A. You know what I mean? Just like kind of throw them away a little bit. Do the same place again and think about that just a little. Yeah, totally. That's so much better. How does it feel to you?
It's a work in progress.
Oh,
it's getting there.
Bro, me too. Yeah, trust me. It's okay. I think everything we do is a work in progress. But as long as you take, because I love that you said in the beginning that this is one of your favorites that you've played, you know? And you take that melody and really, as long as you hear that melody first, you've got it. That's great. It does make it a little harder though, right? It's a lot of very fast changes. But don't worry so much about the evenness and a little bit more about just bringing the melody out and you got it good. Does anybody else have anything they want to share about this? No?
I think it really is reminiscent of theme and variations like you would see in like a Carnival of Venice or a Carmen variations. Or
yes.
See that sort of thing in that context.
The same way.
Say that again, Cheryl?
The Berbigue etudes are written that same way.
Totally. Yep.
Do you have any magic for trying to keep that accompaniment softer or anything like that? Only thing
I wish I had so much magic. I've got a magic wand right over here. I wish I could wave it and just make it all.
That's not a very hard thing to do. I like the idea of what you said, throw it away.
Yeah.
Only thing I could think about is just to play the part. Don't try to give it so much attention, like you said.
Yes.
I don't know how effective it was, but I tried to taper those accompaniment lines, especially if they were more than just one or two oscillations.
Sure, yeah.
Fade them out.
Yeah. I think that's definitely a great suggestion. To answer your question about having any magic, Cheryl, definitely not. I don't have any. But I will say that first of all, if you really do practice the melody line alone, like a lot.
I know that I've done that a lot, but I was just thinking I found it with myself, I was doing about like Brittany does, when you first start doing that,
Yeah.
and I explain it to students, that maybe the taper, like Sean was saying, just taper the.
You know what? Another thing I like to do is let me share the screen one more time.
Wherry has started screen share.
Oh, yes, I did. I will take the melody line and actually kind of forget the rhythmic integrity for a minute. Okay? Bear with me. But if we play this, really give it all of the oomph and the soul and the Italian singing, and then just do. Like, kind of separate them a little bit more so that you have a chance to do them differently.
I see. That's a good idea. And what was that about the D and the F sharp fingering you were talking about a minute ago?
Oh, yeah. So that's in measure, this is just really tricky. So in measure 16, it goes, you have the B, and you have to go. It's awful. Go from D to F sharp over and over again. No, thank you. So the fingerings that I would use would be what Brittany was doing, which is just moving the first finger of the right hand while also lifting the first finger of the left hand for the D, so that it kind of helps the quality of the sound.
You've got 3 fingers moving together, essentially.
Just 2.
Oh, just the first finger of the right hand?
Yep, and the first finger of the left hand, that's it.
So does the middle... So in the right hand, it's your 2 and 3 that stays down, your middle and ring, or just...
That's exactly right. Yep, exactly. So the 2 and 3 stays down.
Oh, okay.
That's what I would do. You could, and I don't even have my pinky. Yeah, I'm just leaving my pinky up.
Yeah.
But that's if I try to do all the right fingerings.
Yes.
2 out of 3 I'll get. But that's just a really tricky one. So to me, this doesn't bother me so much. But you got to make sure you get the fingers down in time. I would definitely have to practice that a little bit.
I actually use the. I don't know if it's right.
Please tell me. Yeah.
I have no teacher at the moment. I'm on vacation, so I didn't have anyone to.
If it's working for you, it might be right, Brittany. So go for it.
I moved these 2 also. These ones.
These. Oh, okay. So you're moving both.
The quality is a little bit better than just these 2.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, and that's not so much harder, actually. To me, it almost makes it easier to use both the first and second finger of the right hand because it gives it a little more weight. Then we're back to not so hard. So yeah, I think, first of all, Brittany, I love that you figured this out on your own, because that's a part of all of this too, is to experiment with things that work and don't work. And as you try different things, you notice different things. It's pretty cool. Yeah. So, I want to go back to what you were talking about, Cheryl, here too, is this sort of idea of separating a little bit the melody from the accompaniment, right? So you could even go as far as to do this. You know what I mean? Like, just to get in your mind what you want each to sound like, and then you can try to connect them. Mm-hmm. But really, number 1, all about the melody, girl. That's it, Brittany, do you have any questions or final thoughts or anything?
No, thanks.
You sound beautiful.
Oh,
Really,
oh,
really
the
nice.
last time, oh,
Yeah.
thanks. The last time, I saw it, you told me that I was playing too much with my eyebrows.
Oh, I did say
Yeah.
that.
I remember. And
I didn't notice this time.
no, I have tried to correct it a little bit, but I
Yep.
wanted to know if you saw a difference.
I will tell you that I saw a difference because it didn't bother me today.
Okay.
So I think you did a very good job. Does it make a difference for you in the way that you feel you're playing if you're relaxing here a little bit?
I found out that it's not just my eyebrows. There is the way you notice it, but there is also all me that
Yes.
is counting and adding a lot of effort in
Yes.
what I'm doing. So maybe my face does respond more visually to it, but actually it's all me.
Yeah, I think that's a beautiful answer, Brittany. I think that a lot of times that's one of the benefits of watching ourselves or recording ourselves, watching yourself in a mirror, watching a recording of yourself is sometimes you'll notice something that you're not aware that you're doing, but it actually leads to other parts of tension in yourself, right? The eyebrows is a good one. I'm sure I play with my eyebrows a lot too, but depending on what they're doing, it's adding tension to other places that you don't need to. Like if you've got this or the panic, it's like all of this extra stress that transfers to your jaw, that transfers to your throat, that transfers to your air. So it's all connected. So I love that you've been noticing that and that you've done a great job of releasing it. It's not the easiest thing to do, to find a place of tension and practice releasing it. So good job.
I just wanna say that you sound great, that you took a really difficult study, and I wonder how slow did you start, or did you play it this fast from the beginning?
No, I started it at 20 and
All right.
started
Okay.
building up from there.
Okay. Great job. I say great job, man. Whew.
Juan, that is a very important question. I just want to mention because so many of us start way too fast. Like way too fast, And practicing slowly first is one of the most important things that you can do. It doesn't make you worse. It doesn't mean that you're not a good musician or that you're, whatever, if you have to start slower. It actually is the most intelligent thing to do because you learn it correctly. I didn't lead by example here very well because I just went fast right away. But it is wonderful to play slowly. And I think it's funny because I think it's one of the things that we tend to be most insecure about is playing something too slow. But it's good to do. So good job.
The other thing on tempo is in pieces like this where the metronome marking is so low, it's too slow for your brain to really keep that beat. So I subdivided it and I did the math and I said, okay, dotted quarter at 40, that's eighth at 120. So let's think in eighths. I dropped it down to about half tempo and got comfortable with it and then just sped it back up.
Yeah. It wasn't 20 the 2020. It was 20 the subdivision. Like the subdivision that is supposed to go like to 180. No, that was the 20. That was my 20.
That's great. It's great.
And you mastered it, and that's
Sean, I love that though. Doing a little bit of math with the metronome, I think, is a wonderful thing to try to figure out and get used to. I remember trying to, especially when you have dotted quarter notes, it's like, okay, wait, you have to multiply by 3. Okay, then you can move it down. And then once you get high enough, then you can divide it by 3. And then you do the best way to do it is just try and experiment. Turn the metronome on some tempo that feels slow enough. So you think, see how it feels. If it doesn't feel slow enough, it's like just experiment with it. But my rule of thumb is always start at a tempo that you can play it comfortably at without stressing about it. That's it. The end. Then you can start moving it up. We could do a whole class on that, to be honest. But good question and point, Juan. Okay, so thank you, Brittany. Your wonderful, wonderful job. Lisa, it's your turn. Tell us where you are, what you're going to play, and how you're feeling about it.
Oh, well, I'm Lisa. And hello to all those people that were in my morning class. I see lots of you.
I love it. I love it.
Anyways, my name's Lisa. I'm in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And it's very cold here right now. So, although
How cold is it?
California. Sean, you're in California, aren't you? Do you have snow?
There was a light dusting of snow on the Hollywood side.
What?
Yeah, there's crazy snow down there right now.
It's insane. We don't.
Patricia, are you from California too?
Yes, I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area in Palo Alto.
Oh,
my gosh.
nice.
Flats, we didn't get any, but my friends who live up on the hills between here and the ocean did.
Oh, it's crazy.
I was just in Monterey last weekend, and it was nice. But I was supposed to play in this Colorado Bach ensemble. We were going to play the St. Matthew's Passion Bach piece last night, and they canceled the concert because the church was too cold.
Oh, wow.
I've never had that happen in my life. It was crazy because 2 days ago it was like -5 degrees here. And then the heater broke in the church and they couldn't get it above 50 degrees. And all the oboists were like, our oboes will crack.
Yeah.
Not going to play.
Yeah.
It was crazy. So, it's wild.
Yes. Anyways, I'm going to try to play the flute. That's what this thing is.
You're going to play the flute great, okay?
So I'm going to play number 11.
Yay!
Yes.
Okay, let me pull it up really quick.
Yeah. And I'm going to cheat and put my metronome on.
And I'm gonna say this because I think it's important, because we ended with talking about playing slowly.
Yes.
And when I sent the email out today asking what you were playing, you were like, I'm gonna play number 11 very slowly. So, but I think that is so good, Lisa. So don't feel any pressure to play any sort of tempo. Do what feels good to you, and we'll work on whatever comes up.
Perfect. Okay.
Is there anything specifically that you are focusing on or that feels like an extra challenge to you, or?
Really, it's the same. Just my whole goal with everything is to get over my performance anxiety.
I love
That's what it is. So even like this morning, I played in the Mozart class or in the solo of the month class.
Yep.
And if I can get to the end, I will be happy.
I love it. Okay. I'm going to shut up and we'll talk about that after. But let's just go for it and it'll be awesome.
Perfect.
Okay, let me share my screen.
Katy, Wherry has started screen share. Screen share.
Yeah! Lisa, you super made it through.
Ah,
That
thank
was
you.
awesome.
I'm all
So-
like stressed and red now, but it's all
Yeah.
good.
When I get stressed, I break out in hives all over my chest and my neck. So maybe we're twins. I don't know.
I think so.
It's very possible. First of all, I think it was lovely. I think it had a lot of what a cute etude. It's like all
Yeah.
it's so sweet. So if you're okay with it, I'd love to talk to you. Oh my gosh, sorry, I'm trying to move my chair. Good Lord. I'm trying to talk to you about I would love to talk to you about how you feel right
Okay,
now.
perfect.
Just because, first of all, everybody here, raise your hand if you have never experienced performance anxiety in your life. One!
Name on.
I don't believe him. Raise your hand if you've experienced a pretty extreme performance anxiety in your life.
Oh my god.
Everyone's like me. So I think that, as musicians and performers, experiencing nerves, performance anxiety, the things that happen to us when we're about to be judged by other people, or we perceive that we're about to be judged by other people, it's very real and it's very physical. And I think that there are a lot of things that we can practice. I don't like saying to overcome them because I don't think it's a thing to be overcame. I think it's something to kind of embrace and work through, because really all our nerves are doing is trying to protect ourselves from danger, Can we go through, I'd love to ask, before you talk about what you feel now, Lisa, but keep it in your brain, okay? What happens to each of you when you get nervous? When you're playing for other people or recording yourself, or Stephen, please.
Well, I was going to say that in my case, I have a little bit of anxiety at every single performance. And what scares me is if I go into a performance without any anxiety, that means I'm overconfident and I'm really going to screw up. Okay, so as long as I have a little bit of anxiety to start every performance, no matter whether I'm playing in church or where I'm doing solos or maybe in an ensemble, if I have a little bit of anxiety, I turn that nervous energy into improving my performance. So I don't want to say I look forward to anxiety. That's the right way to put it, but I use it to my advantage as long as it's not overpowering. I mean,
Right.
If I got to the point where I was starting to have hives, something's not quite right. But
yeah, Stephen, I love that. I think that is such a powerful, powerful, powerful tool, because you're right. If you have a little bit of nerves can be positive or negative, right? Our nervous system does things when we're about to do something really super exciting. It also does things when we're about to do something really super dangerous. And if you take that moment of feeling like, okay, I feel alive here, and then you can absolutely use that energy to your advantage. And that is ultimately the ideal way to do it. Because you're right. If you don't feel anything at all, it's like, then why do I do this? Obviously, I don't care. Very cool. Thank you, Stephen. I love that. Juan, yes.
There was a time when I was younger, incredibly enough, and I used to get really nervous.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like very bad, and it was very disabling, And it's slowly, I think, with the years and with playing, I've been calming down. And for me now, anxiety tells me that I am outside of myself. I am outside of my body. I have to breathe. I have to center myself. I have to find my resources. I am focusing too much on the audience and on my mistakes. And I feel a lot calmer playing these days, and it's more pleasant, more pleasurable. Yeah.
That is so good. That's so good. Yeah. It's similar, right? It's this balance between feeling the things that we need to feel and that are helpful, like Stephen said, or the extreme where it's debilitating, right? Like you said, Juan, it used to be for you. And there are a lot of things that contribute to us realizing like, oh, actually, I'm going to be okay here. even if you mess up every single note, like you're not gonna die. It's really gonna be fine. You know? But yeah, it's very true. It's great. Who else? Anybody?
About
Claire, you're next, okay, after Cheryl.
okay. Usually when I get nervous, a lot of times my lips will dry.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to, in my earlier years of training, I had to overcome wetting my lips every time I took a breath. And that takes time. Of course, you can't open your mouth very much, you know, because
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of put the embouchure back.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, sometimes the vibrato would start shaking and vibrating unnecessarily, you know,
Yeah.
involuntarily.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think a lot of times if we want something to go too perfectly, it can counteract, you know, and not do what we want. So it's just like, just play.
Yeah, just play.
Just play.
Isn't it beautiful that the word we use for what we do is play anyway?
Yeah.
You know, it's real. Yeah, totally. How about you, Claire?
Well, I don't have any problem being in front of a group of people because I do that every week and have to speak.
Yeah.
But I did not. I took lessons for like 10 years and I was a terrible student because I had too many other responsibilities in my life that interfered. So because of that, I did not spend as much time with the flute as I should have and practicing. So it's like I didn't trust my flute. So I kind of felt like when I got up there on the stage, it was going to betray me.
Mm-hmm.
So things have changed. I have more time to spend with my flute now. So I'm trying to correct
Yeah.
all of that from the past. I've contacted my teacher again, and
Great.
I was really looking forward to this class and the one in the morning. So
Oh, good.
yeah.
Claire, you just gave me goosebumps a little bit because if any of you have ever been to my other classes, talking about trust is one of the biggest things I think
Yeah.
that we can really explore, because trusting ourselves and also having trust in the connection that you have with your instrument, like that's the ultimate goal. 'Cause then you have freedom. If you can trust your connection with your instrument, you can go up and be free to express yourself. If you don't trust what's going to happen there, it's a whole thing. And
Yeah.
same with the trust in ourselves, right? It's a huge deal. So thank you so much for bringing that up, because it's a really,
Trust is so important, because once you can trust yourself, then you can play.
yeah, but we all have so many issues with trust
do.
for whatever reasons, whether you've been through trauma in your life, whether you've had issues with trusting with other relationships, if you have issues with your trust in yourself, right? These come from so many places, that so many of the experiences we've had in our lives, you know? So building trust and understanding, where's my, I love this thing so much, I show it every time, but it's like this uncertainty, and there's a little self-trust bench that you can just sit on and rest when you need to. But we all have to build that, So thank you, Claire. That's awesome. I could talk for 3 hours about that, so I'm going to just leave it at it's very important. That's beautiful. Anybody else? Does anybody else have anything that happens to them specifically when they get nervous? Patricia,
I have like two.
You'll be next, Patricia, after Sean.
Two things that happen. I get dry lips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same as Cheryl. Yeah.
And the other is I get shaky hands, which is
really
inconvenient.
I see nods around. Yeah, it is very inconvenient.
What I eventually figured out is that it's not just happening when I'm performing. It's happening when I'm practicing too. Without the extra stress of performing, I'm able to manage it much easier, and it doesn't interfere. So
interesting.
Over time, I've spent more time in practice managing both of those two things.
Yep.
And I have a diagnosed essential tremor anyway, so that's
always
going to be pain in my
it's a thing, in your hand.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah, right. That's not the word we were thinking of.
Yeah,
yes.
not the word I'm looking for. But
We'll go with it. Yeah, I hear you.
Compensating, I'm trying different hand positions. I bought a heavier flute.
Yeah.
Trying different strategies.
We find our solutions. Totally. How about you, Patricia?
I was going to say the same. The shaking, I could feel the flute shaking on my lip.
Yeah.
And it took me a while to figure out that's coming from my hands, and you wind up ramming it into your face, and your hands still don't work very well. And
Totally. Yeah.
in extreme condition, it can be debilitating.
It can be. Yeah. And it can actually cause injury, right? If you're putting a ton of tension here. Like it's not to be dramatic. Like
Of course.
but it's debilitating. It really can be. And the goal, I mean, all of us have chosen to pursue learning how to play this metal tube that is really hard to play, right? Like for some reason, we're all crazy enough to spend a lot of time doing this thing. So the goal is for us to be free to do it and to express ourselves. And our bodies betray us sometimes.
Yes, and your head knows this is as comfortable a situation. I'm playing in church. These are little they don't care. They want me to do well, but no one is going to be hurt here.
Yeah.
And yet your body, nobody tells your central nervous system.
That's exactly right.
And the more prepared I am, the better it is.
Yes, I agree. Same.
It's feeling like trust your preparation.
Yes, totally.
But
that's a huge part of it.
For extreme, super exposed stuff, I will resort to beta blockers because it takes it away.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Your mouth, so you have that.
Yeah,
but
I know a lot of people who use them. I've never tried them, but it's not because I think that they're bad. I just haven't tried them. but I love hearing from people who have, because they can really help. Especially if there's you can't control that sometimes.
It makes it possible.
Yes,
for you to
have a little bit of a chance. Totally.
And to have that confidence that, okay, my body is not going to betray me.
Yes, there's the trust again.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, good. Does anybody else want to share before I make
I used to find the church performances so relaxing, but the church I'm at now, there's 700 people in the room, and God knows how many watching on YouTube. So
that's a lot, Sean. That's crazy.
An audience.
Yeah. That's awesome, though. Cool. So,
where's Brittany from, or was she in school?
Costa Rica, right, okay. Brittany? Yeah. So my point with this is just to say that, first of all, every one of us experiences this in some form or another. All of us. Doesn't matter if you're principal of the Berlin Philharmonic or you'd picked up the flute for the first time in your life. Like, it's just a part of being human. And I think the important thing to recognize, and Lisa, I promise we're going to come to you next. The important thing to recognize is what happens to you specifically. Because all of us are a little bit different. It's a human instinct to want to protect ourselves from danger. When we put ourselves out in front of people that are likely going to judge us, 1,000 years ago, if they judge us poorly, we may have been ostracized and could probably die. That is not the case now. So, but like Patricia said, as much as we can logically say, I know that I'm safe, I know that nothing bad is going to happen to me, but there's a physical reaction. You shake, your lips get dry, your air goes away, you rush everything, like all of a sudden your brain isn't there. There's so many performances that I've played and been like, I don't even know what happened. Like, where am I? And how much time passed? I don't know. It's this adrenaline, So the best couple of things to do are, first of all, to do it all the time. So Lisa, you are here and you've done it twice today. You are doing that. Very good. The second thing is to, in a non-judgmental way, in a way that is kind and grateful to your body for trying to keep you safe, but also with the awareness of what is physically happening to me, right? And noticing one thing, like Sean was saying, he noticed that his hands would shake. and his lips would get dry. Okay, how do I work on solving those very specific problems? And then you come up with solutions for that. Usually, the best way, we are so lucky that we play an instrument that requires us to focus on our breath, right? Because in every society, in most cultures, especially when you think about meditating and training your mind to be what you want it to be, it's all focused around breathing, all of it. So if you can practice, even now as I'm speaking, I like just practice slowing down, taking deeper breaths. It might calm the shaking a little. It might give you a chance to rehydrate your mouth, you know. It will absolutely help you with your sound. It will absolutely help you with not rushing. So number one focus for me with nerves is always, how can I focus back on my breathing? Because it also helps whatever's going on in your mind to just kind of drift away. So if any of you have or haven't practiced meditation in your life, I do occasionally, like when I need to. I'm not a daily meditation practicer, but I think it's a powerful tool to have when you can, because the basis of it is focus on your breath, take a big inhale, usually exhale longer than your inhale, whatever. Big inhale, exhale for a few minutes, and every thought that comes into your mind, you just try to let it go. Don't let it stick. And it's practicing letting go of the stickiness, right? Letting those thoughts release just by breathing and coming back to the focus on your breath. That practice, I think, is very, 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 very underrated. Because just as much as we practice our scales, just as much as we practice our, flexibility of your embouchure or articulation or our vibrato or our trills or whatever it is, we forget that we have to actually practice what goes on in our minds also. And meditation and breathing are the best ways to do that, Okay, soapbox over. Thank you everyone for listening to my TED Talk. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Lisa, tell me how now that maybe you don't feel this way anymore, but I hope you can remember how you felt playing and before, after, all the things.
I do feel better now.
Good, okay.
Reading, which is good. So when I perform, only when I perform solo, really.
Yeah.
I can perform with an ensemble, I can do all of that, and that is usually fine. But if I have a
Totally.
really solo or playing for myself or in this sort of environment, like I lose the connection between my brain and my body. So as I'm playing, so even if I am fairly prepared, so even today as I'm playing this, I practiced it like before this class and it went much better. But as soon as I get in this environment, all of a sudden the connection between my brain and my fingers and my breath and all of that, it goes. And I have fleeting thoughts as I'm going through it, thinking, oh my God, I need to breathe because I think I'm going to die.
Yeah, totally. Yes.
When I have that moment of like, okay, I need to enjoy this, then it's okay. Yeah. But then within like the next difficult bar that's coming up, I've lost it again. So,
for sure. Yeah.
It's hard to be present. But to me, it's really debilitating. It's like to the point where, like even this morning, for the people that were in the Mozart class this morning, I had to play first and it was terrible. And I didn't like, it was just horrible. It was, but I kept going. And Matthew, he was so lovely. He's just like, what did you like about that? And I'm like,
oh, he's the best. I
love him. Yes, he was so lovely about it all. But yeah, I find it really, really debilitating. And I never used to be like this. This has only come really like actually probably the year before or like 6 months leading before COVID. And then over COVID, I think because I didn't do anything. I actually didn't practice my flute for the first year of COVID at all. Not even once.
Neither did I. Don't tell anybody.
And yes. And then after that, I think because I didn't play, and now when I'm playing and I'm doing anything like this, I'm terrified and I'm not sure why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for being honest about this, Lisa. It's really so important for all of us because we really are all on the same page in so many ways. So this disconnect between your mind and your body, I think that's the part to kind of dig into. And it's interesting that this happened recently. And I also think that you're not so alone there either because, with the start of COVID, talking about trust, so many of us have been living in fear, really. We have a lot less trust in our governments. We have a lot less trust in each other, in going out in public. There's so many things about our basic lives, just living our lives, that have changed drastically. So, as much as you think, oh, but I'm just playing the flute, no, it all of it contributes to it because it's who you are as a person and who you bring to it. And if, and like I said before about, traumas we've had in our life, all of these things contribute to how you show up, which is why I think the flute and playing music is such a powerful and important tool because it's a way for us to work through those things in a way that's just so real, right? It's amazing. So the fact that you're noticing these things now and that you're showing up and doing this says a lot about what you're doing for yourself in your life. Mm-hmm. So as heavy and dramatic as that sounds, I do think it's one of the most important things.
Yes, thank you.
Now,
and also too, I will say, you were right, Katy. The fact is everybody's been lovely.
Yeah, see? It's fine. We have this fear oh my gosh, they're going to be mean and they're going to tell me I suck and blah, blah, blah. But the reality is, and we've talked about this before, Lisa, there are people out there that do that.
Yes,
right? There are people in the world. There are flutists in orchestras. There are people that you play in ensembles with that are not nice. Yeah. That you play for and they're like, really?
Yeah.
Why are you here? It's real and it's awful. But the important thing to know is that more often than not, I'm willing to bet 98% of the time, barring any social disorders, it usually has to do with people having their own insecurities and very little to do with you. Which is easier, it's easier to say that and to be yeah, I know that, but here, talking about, and that's a whole other topic. That's another self-trust and confidence and those kinds of things, right? Social dynamics, especially in music. Every professional orchestra I've ever subbed with has these things, every single one. So it doesn't matter if it's a community orchestra or a professional orchestra or a quintet, whatever. There's always, people bring their stuff. I would have used a different word if I wasn't being recorded. But, so here, when you're talking about the disconnect between your head and your body, right? And how the entire time your brain is screaming for you to breathe. You're I'm going to die. I need to take a breath. And then the other part of your brain is but I'm in it, but I'm going. And here's the rhythms. And if I breathe now, everything is going to be ruined.
Yes.
Right? So one of my most favorite lessons that I've learned was from Marina Piccinini. And she has this thing where when she goes out on stage, she will stand there for as long as it takes for her to have the attention of the entire room. Doesn't matter if it's 5 seconds, doesn't matter if it's 2 minutes, doesn't matter. She will go out there and she will stand there until everybody's paying. And it is this magical thing, right? But what I've learned from that is whenever we're under pressure and people are watching us, it's there's this idea that you have to start right away because silence is the most miserable, awkward thing that we could experience. But really the silence before you play is your time. It's the time for you to take as many breaths as you need to get your brain just to be cool, I'm here now. We're going to let all these thoughts go away. And to take a quality breath before you play is the most important thing. And there's no reason that you can't because you have as much time as you want.
Yeah.
And even saying that, you'll go and play, and I bet you you'll take 3 seconds instead of 30. You know?
Yes.
3 seconds feels like 3 hours when you're on stage.
Yeah.
It really does. So I'd love for you to play again. I won't make you play the whole thing. I promise. I'll stop you. But before you start, try to get as focused in on your breath as you can. Your brain is going to tell you things like, oh God, I better start now. Oh no, what's happening? Whatever it tells you, let it tell you. Just say, thank you for that. Moving on, focus back on the breath. And then start when you feel like you've got that focus internally, and take the best breath you can before you start. No other worries. You're not going to think about any other things. Okay? I'm going to share my screen again, but just you do you.
Katy, Wherry has started screen share.
Awesome. Okay, I'm going to stop you already. Nice. How did that feel to you?
A little bit better at the beginning until I got to the difficult bar.
Yeah, totally. So can you do it again? Same thing. Like, and take even more time. I think you maybe got like 4 seconds in. Let's give it like 8. Okay. And I didn't actually count, but really just take the time, you know. And there's a balance there. There's a time when it gets to be like, okay, ugh. But it's nice to find that edge, you know. Make sure you get a nice good deep breath in. In fact, maybe get 2. Okay. Let all of your air out all the way. Take a big breath, let it out, and take another one, then start. And go like at almost 2/3 that speed. Just go slower. So that it feels really comfortable to you.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay, I'll stop you there. How did that feel?
Better.
Why? What felt better about it?
Probably because I was going slower.
Yeah, totally. Yes, for sure. Does not hurt at all.
And just breathing, like centering and breathing beforehand helps. Yeah.
And but honestly,
it made the hard bars easier to deal with.
Yes, totally. Your breath quality throughout that whole thing was phenomenal. Like, because you started with a good breath, even though the breaths were short and you stayed in time, the quality of all of those breaths was so much better than the ones you were taking before. Like, right. It's amazing when you start with that, you know? And honestly, there's no need for you to play any faster than that, you know, especially for those hard things. What's hard about this? Besides a lot of stuff. But what's some of the hardest stuff here?
In this study for me, it's just a couple of bars of the pattern for some reason.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
For sure. Yeah. It's weird. It like changes in weird ways. And also we're going in between the middle register and the low register.
Right.
You're making some leaps where your embouchure needs to be really flexible to get down to the low stuff, right? Especially like E flat, like, you know. Oh, my flute is so cold. Sorry. See, B flat to D is a tough one, right? So when you're practicing this, I'd really focus on, especially when you're doing these octaves, getting the lower octave like really out. And this is con forza,
Yeah.
Like we got strength behind it, you know? So it doesn't have to be even but really being open for those low notes. And if you focus on getting grounded in those, the upper notes will just kind of bounce off of them. This is a very trampoline-y kind of etude, you know? So it is really a challenge to get those leaps happening. So focusing on those low notes, I would start even with practicing just like getting some good low D's out. See how it feels, you know, so you know what you're aiming for.
Yes.
And then to isolate those a little bit is really helpful. But I do think, Lisa, it was beautiful. It was so much different. Your tone quality was way less airy. You had so much more substance.
Yes.
You know what's funny about having an airy sound is that, like, you'd think that having an airy sound means that you're like using more air, but really it's the complete opposite. It's you're like not using enough.
Yeah.
You know, the weird things about playing flute. But yeah, it's awesome.
Thank you.
What were you gonna say? I just interrupted you because
No, it's absolutely that. It is honestly, it's all of the nerves. It makes me take my breath from like right here, right? That's all I can breathe is right there. So even just breathing exercises, then all of a sudden I could actually take a deeper breath.
Yep.
So but I tend to breathe right here when I'm stressed. So
you and most humans. Yeah. It's so true. And so really the more that you can practice breathing with the flute or without it, right? That's why yoga is great for flute players because it's so focused on just your breathing, you know? But any kind of breathing exercises you can find are amazing to do because the more you build that into your, you know, habitual way of playing, then you free yourself up for all the other things. Without the foundation of your air, there's nothing else. Like you can't practice your articulation well. You can't practice your intonation. You can't practice your flexibility because the air support is the foundation of all of it.
Yeah.
Right. And when you have your nerves too, it's amazing. So I would say for everybody here, including myself, like, you know, paying attention to the breath, the quality of the way that you inhale, right? Is you can't, you know, it's the most important thing you can do. Then to put yourself in these kinds of situations. Congratulations. Twice in one day, Lisa. Like you're killing it. This is awesome. You know,
have a glass of wine later.
That's what's going to happen for me after this as well. If you want to have a little cheers, you can. But yeah, like, and then you start to realize I'm not in danger. And you're aware of what happens to you when you get nervous, right? So now you have the tool to practice. Take time before you start playing, like an uncomfortable, long, awkward amount of time to really get centered and catch your breath first. And it will make a huge difference, I think, you know. Yeah. I'm so glad to hear you play. It makes me really happy. So thank you.
Thank you for letting me play. Thanks.
You had so much character and joy when you were playing. It really did. It really did. So
thank you.
It's awesome. Yeah. So everybody, this is it. I talked a lot, so thanks for listening. Does anybody have anything else they'd like to ask or add? Or Juan, did you want to play a little something? You can if you'd like. He was signed up, but I didn't.
Katy, I must say this, that I think you contributed so much to the COVID. I know we were talking about a while ago how many bad things that came from that and how much insecurities that everybody has from that. It was in some ways a very good thing. For me, I must say that the Etude of the Week helped reconnect me with the flute community.
Oh, Cheryl, that means more to me than I can say. So thank you for that. I am so grateful.
No, sincerely, and for me, I had more time to actually practice. It's been out of COVID with the new things I brought in and then trying to go back to what I was doing beforehand. That's what's been the challenge.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I agree with you. For absolutely. But yeah, I think that there's some beauty in this remembering the importance of our connection to each other. You know, it really is the most important thing, I think. Playing the flute's cool, but connection's even better. All right, Juan's got his flute out. So, what do you want to play, Juan?
Number 2.
Okay, we're gonna do a little bit of number 2.
Yeah, just a few bars.
You got it. Let me find it here.
All right.
And then we'll go for it. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, got it. Oh, I like this one. Hey Juan, are you on a computer?
Yeah. No,
Do you see? Does it say original sound somewhere up there?
Yeah, original sound off. It's
Can you turn it? Click on where it says off so that it's on.
now it disappeared. Oh, okay. On. Okay.
Perfect. Now we should be able to hear you, I hope.
Let's see. Okay, let's try again.
Yeah.
You can hear me?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
All right, that's good enough for me.
Okay, perfect. I love it. Beautiful, Juan. What do you like about this etude?
Well, it's very romantic.
Absolutely.
It's like very gallant. The way that pattern keeps on repeating. Yeah.
Yeah, you're a romantic guy, I could tell.
Oh yeah, I'm passionate. I'm from Chile, by the way. So I am Juan, and I was born in Chile. And I played in a band in Chile in my 20s, and we recorded 3 albums, and I played flute. My first flute, I bought it in New York, like in 1969. And
cool.
And I was going to Central Park to play and jam and play with people that were playing congas, and Woodstock happened, but that was my first time in USA. My English sucked, so I didn't dare go to Woodstock. And then in Chile, yeah, we played, we recorded. I'm part of the Chilean rock music history. Came to USA in '77, and I played with different people. I lived in California, in Miami. Now I'm in Colorado, and I play with.
You're in Colorado?
Yeah.
Me too.
Oh, really?
Where are you?
I'm in Longmont.
Well, we should just probably be friends then.
Okay, sounds good to me.
I'm in Denver, but my sister lives in Lafayette.
Yeah, it's not
so
that far.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love the flute, and I used to have something that people don't talk about is their flutes. Like also in the flute solo of the month, I was going to suggest to Matthew, would people be interested in saying what flute they're playing with?
I'm sure everybody loves talking about flute nerdy stuff.
It's kind of nice to know also what people are playing and what it sounded like.
What are you playing?
I used to have an older Haynes that I bought in Miami for like $1,000 with a Sankyo head. And apparently had suffered some damage. I wasn't very savvy on all the technical stuff about flutes and stuff, and I played for that for a long time until it started leaking like hell. And I got a couple of Armstrongs. And now I have a beautiful Haynes from like '99. It's a custom, but with a drawn tone holes and a beautiful head. That's a different head with an 18K riser.
Nice. Ooh.
A really beautiful flute. I'm really enjoying it. And like Pablo Casal says, practicing because I still think I can get a little bit better.
That's exactly right.
And I've never been a classical music kind of guy, and reading music and playing music that's already determined is actually a lot more nerve wrecking for me.
Totally.
I've been kind of like an improviser. I
Yeah.
compose, I play jazz, I have great facility just playing.
That's amazing. Yeah.
So this is a new challenge for me, and I'm really enjoying it, and it's making my technique a lot better.
I love this. I think that if classical flutists could do the same thing that you are and start exploring improvisation the way that you're exploring classical music, it would be great for everyone. So, but most flutists, I think, really struggle with improvisation.
Most of us are scared to death of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I see nods everywhere.
How many of us have had gigs where we had to do it and we write it out?
Totally, Patricia. Yeah, Lisa's like me. Yeah.
I am on the reverse journey.
Reverse, but it's amazing. I'll have Juan. We should talk because I'll have you come and help me teach an improv class sometime.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, cool. Because that's also one of my biggest things is whenever I have to teach a warm-up class at a festival or anything, I force everybody to improvise, and they all hate me at first, but then by the end, we're cool. we make up by the end. But I love it, Juan, and I can hear that. I can hear the musicality in the way that you played this. I can hear the passion, I hear the phrasing, I hear the fact that you have an idea of what you want it to sound like, because that's being a musician that is so used to playing in these other styles of music, that's so used to playing improvisation, it transfers over to this classical stuff. The biggest suggestion I'd have for you is just to plan where you want to breathe.
Yeah, that's my biggest challenge.
That's it.
Breath. That's the key. That's the biggest.
That's the biggest thing. Absolutely. Because otherwise, the musicality is all there. I love your sound. I thought the vibrato was really nice. I think, yeah. And here's one thing I want to point out about planning breaths. It's not a competition to see how little you can breathe. Breathe as many times as you need to breathe, but just do them consistently and plan them with the music. James Galway always in the classes I took with him would say, why don't you breathe? Why aren't you breathing there? Like he would always yell at people for not breathing enough. When we have these orchestral things like and like people are all, who cares if you take a breath? Like, it's fine. It's not, but it should be musical. And you know about playing musically. So I'm pretty sure that you'd be able to write in and write with a pencil, because if you play it through and you write them in and then tomorrow you change your mind, that's okay. But it's still important to try to, to make them work in the phrase, Yeah. It's awesome. I'm so glad you played, Juan. Thank you. Thank you so much. Awesome. So we'll do another class, I think, 2 weeks from today. March, what day is that? What day is today? The 25th. March 11th. That class is going to be a discussion. I don't know the topic yet. Probably about trust, because it keeps coming up again. So that's probably what we'll get into. For those of you who don't know, I'm doing a new, it's kind of new. This will be the second round of For the Love of Flute. It is a 4-month-long program where we really deeply work through trusting ourselves, figuring out your relationship with the flute and what goals you have. I'm starting the new round of March 15th. I was going to do it March 1st, but I've had a lot of personal things come up and I needed to put it off a couple weeks. So March 15th is the deadline. If you want to talk about what the program looks like and if it sounds like something you're interested in, just send me a message and we can talk about it. And that's all. I just had to do my little talk about it because I'm really excited about it. It's pretty wonderful. Stephen, yes.
Yeah, one quick question. About how much longer do you think you'll use this Gariboldi Etude book?
Oh, great question. So how many are in this book?
20.
20. Okay, so which one are we on now? 12? Mm-hmm. So we got 8 more weeks.
Okay, I wanted, if we were because I have missed so many, and I
Oh,
don't have
sure.
this particular book, I didn't necessarily want to go out and buy one if we were at the end.
Totally, yeah. And it is available for free, Stephen.
Oh,
If you go to etudeoftheweek.com, you can download it there. Or if
okay.
you just look up Gariboldi Opus 80, you can download it for free.
Flute,
Okay,
Flute,
let me write that
Katy.
down.
I'm going to put a link in the chat. I just found it.
Oh, perfect. Patricia's going to put a link in the chat. But yeah, you can download it for free, Stephen.
Oh, okay.
I just printed them off of here, and you
Oh,
have to print
perfect.
each one
Yeah, I put them together in one PDF on
in one document.
etude.com. Yeah.
Smart.
So if you go there, you can download them all in one. But either way.
Oh,
yeah.
if you've already done it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Opus 80 and Opus 88.
88. Sorry, I didn't mean 80.
Okay.
You're correct. Thank you. Lisa was like 88, 88. Yeah. So I will probably be, so for those of you who have not been in Etude of the Week for very long, we vote as a group on the books we want to play. So we'll do a vote for the next, and I usually will do a post that's like, let me know what book you want to do. And I also take into consideration the ones that were like in second and third place for the last few votes. I always try to do books that are available in public domain that people don't have to buy, just so that it's more available for people. We're starting to get to a point where I might have to do ones that people do have to buy soon, but we'll see. But just so you know, if you're in Etude of the Week, that'll probably happen within the next couple of weeks or so. I'm gonna make a little secret announcement that nobody else knows yet. Paul Edmund Davies and I are working on some pretty exciting etudes together right now that we're going to present in April. So the first few weeks of April, we're going to do some French horn etudes that really work well with flute stuff. So he's got some amazing descriptions and instructions, and we're going to do some virtual things together, and then we're going to come together. If anybody's in Europe, I think everybody here is in not Europe, but at the Adams Music Festival in the Netherlands, we're going to do a live class on all of that. So
when is that?
It's the last week of April. It is, let's see, February, March, April. It is April 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. So there's a lot of amazing things. Wonderful masterclasses happening there, and we're gonna do a little thing there, but we'll do stuff in Etude of the Week online as well with that. So in April we'll be doing some of those, but that'll probably be alongside whatever other book. I think we'll probably still be in Gariboldi by then. I don't know, I can't count weeks. John's doing math in his head. I can see him.
Whereabouts?
Yeah. Sean, just correct me every time I'm wrong. I need you to be here all the time. Oh, man. Did you say whereabouts, Patricia? I thought I heard someone say
thereabouts in response.
Oh, thereabouts. Got it. Okay. Perfect. Thank you, everyone, so much for coming. I love seeing your faces. And please, if you ever want to get in touch with me, if you have questions, I have spots available for lessons. Again, For the Love of Flute is happening. Or if you just want to like have a little nerdy flute conversation, Juan, we should probably hang out sometime since we're in the same state. Just send me a message on Facebook. You can find me there, or my email is, I'll put it in the chat, kwherry@me.com. Really just get a hold of me any way you want. But it's so lovely to see you all, and I hope to see you very soon.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye. Thanks, Lisa and Brittany and Juan, for playing.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.